rough.
Wie geht's denn dir? Bist gut? Ich bin sehr gut. Ich heiße Hans. Prost!
Prost!
Ist gut. Ich nix deine lernen Deutschen. Ich bin eine Deutsche. Bayerisch. Ich spreche ganz gutes Bayerisch. Ich nix spreche Preis. Preis. Ich nix spreche ganz gutes Preis. My mom immigrated to the United States 44 years ago and married an Irish fellow. That makes me 1/3 German, 1/3 Irish, and 1/3 American, 1/3 drunk, 1/3 stubborn, and 1/3 ignorant. Culturally sensitive that I am. Sorry, I'm not making stereotypes. I had a grandmother. My first experience going to Germany was about 2 years old. Kopfweh means headache. And she used to run around saying, Kopfweh, 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 I have this really bad headache, Kopfweh. My brother and I would call her Kopfweh Oma. And the first word I learned in German was Kopfweh. The second phrase I learned was Magst du erwachsen? Do you want a spanking? Everyone together. Magst du erwachsen?
Magst du erwachsen?
Magst du erwachsen? Magst du erwachsen? Magst du erwachsen? My grandmother's second word, that's this phrase she used to scream. German literature. The first book that my grandmother, my great-grandmother used to read to me and my mom was Der Stubelpeter, which is Slovenly Peter. 10 stories about this kid who doesn't cut his hair or clip his fingernails, and he has no friends. German morals here. These are not, it's not Green Eggs and Ham or Dr. Seuss. And the next story is Augustus who would not eat. So this kid, Augustus, he decides, I'm not going to eat my soup, I'm not going to eat my soup. I'm not going to have this, what? This soup again, not another McDonald's, not another hamburger, please. On the 5th day, he was dead. And he dies on the 5th day. The next story is this kid, he's a thumb sucker. And his mom says, don't suck your thumbs, or the long-legged tailor's going to come and snip them off. Mom leaves, sticks his thumb in there, chop off! I've had issues with sucking. No, nothing there, but Maxim Moritz. These two kids are really, really bad kids, and they're these rascals. And there are 7 tricks that they play on various people in the community, teachers, priests, and farmers, and the miller. And with the punishment, I'm not sure if the punishment fits the crime, but the 4th story is they put gunpowder into the priest's pipe. You know, I have nothing against Catholic Mass, but I'm not going to stick gunpowder in the priest's pipe. He blows up. Fortunately, he lives, but he's covered. I'm not sure what the moral of the story is. The last story is they decided to play a trick on the farmer, and he's more clever than the priest. And he catches them, and he shoves them in the bag, and he takes them to the miller, and they've played various tricks on him before. They puts them in the mill, mills them up, and they end up being duck feed for ducks. Granted, I was well behaved growing up, no doubt. German engineer. I went to 2nd grade German immersion school. School uniforms were lederhosen. And I'm not kidding, 2nd grade picture, I had my lederhosen on. I had to take a piss like you would not believe. Have you ever tried to undo these things? Impossible. Pissed all over myself. The teacher walks out, Magst du eine Watschen? Spanks me. 7th grade to 10th grade was Spanish. California, Spanish speaking. LA, bilingual, 52% now. Studied Spanish for 4 years. I remember one phrase. Magst du eine Watschen? 4 Avenue. Intrinsically motivated to learn French. I wanted to know movies, yeah? 35 beautiful American girls speaking French in my class, that sexy accent. Jean, come here, my friend. I walk into class, and there is one guy in class, Lance. He's intrinsically motivated to meet me, the only other guy in class. I'm sitting in class the first day, Lance comes up with these dark blue, beautiful eyes, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? I'm not here to meet you. He's walking straight at me in this he's kind of strutting down, and he says, Magst du eine Watschen? Beatles. Beatles cover band. I came to Japan 20 years ago. I went to a bar, and I'm sitting at this bar, and there's this beautiful woman serving beer. But I'm like, she is so so beautiful, my Japanese wasn't that good. I've got to meet this woman. I've got to get a beer from her. Right next to her, a bowl of Mikans. What? Mikan, ii desu ka? It's the only Japanese I knew. Can I have a Mikan? Yeah, sure. She says, oh, ii desu yo. Have one Mikan, another Mikan, a Mikan and a beer, a Mikan and a beer, a Mikan and a beer, some conversation, a Mikan and another beer. Never, and I mean never, eat 20 Mikans and chase them down with 20 beers. However, I learned a number of things that day. 3 things. 1, I learned to say one phrase fluently, Mikan ii desu ka? Secondly, I was interested in Japanese, and the 3rd thing, I met my future wife. 3 weeks later, nothing happened. I'm saying like, ah, fucking shit. Literally shit, not literally shit, rhetorically. Anyways, shit. I'm saying like, she's not gonna come around. There was a knock on my door one day. She opens the door. Junko Kato, my wife today, was standing there. And from this day on, I've become a part of the Japanese community, the house and banking things and my job and my friends. So I've become a part of the Japanese community, and so learning a language is really important. And I encourage you, if you don't speak Japanese, or right now for some people who have just gotten here, the moral of the story is learning is the shit. This is Max and Mortis in their demise. They were actually, this is one of the stories before they were actually eaten by the ducks. But anyways, the shit means it's really good, and it's a good thing to be aware about language and stuff. Thank you very much.
Are we going to take a little break now? Is that right, John?
Yeah, let's take a